If this is the sort of stories you like, subscribe to my channel so you can get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Let's get right down to it. Number 1. No attraction.
My name is Cynthia. I'm 36 years old. I got married to this man, who I loved with all of my heart. Despite his disability, I loved him deeply and gave him my all. He wasn't great looking, or wealthy, but he had the best heart, and always treated me as if I was the most important woman in the world. I had a job, so I supported him. We were just financially okay. Well, his parents asked me to marry him, because they needed somebody to be his eyes. Someone to support and care for his every need. Someone who would stand by him through thick and thin and have a family with him. But even before they asked me, I was already in love with him. Not out of pity, but genuine love, and I decided to marry him. I wasn't difficult to leave with him, because I loved him and I supported him. We went everywhere together. When we walked, he placed his left hand on my right shoulder. He would whisper in my ears how much he loved me, and I would tell myself I was the luckiest woman in the whole world. I cooked. I shopped. I drove him everywhere. I read his mails to him, and he made sure I had whatever I needed and most of what I wanted. He was the kindest, gentlest, most loving man I could ever have wished for. He had training on how to be independent, so it was easy for him to tell me his needs and why he needed those things. We figured out the best way to handle it, and life was beautiful. I sought medical intervention here and there to find solution to his blindness. He told me he loved me many times over and appreciated the fact that he found love despite his handicap status. Finally, 2 years after we got married, I got a loan from the company I worked with and he got surgery. The surgery was successful, and my husband could see. My joy knew no bounds. I was ecstatic, because he finally got to see his pillar of hope, the Rock of Gibraltar that stood solidly behind him and nurtured him back to the realm of sight and seeing. He was happy to have his eyes back, but I noticed he stared long and hard at me the moment he saw me. And there was sadness in his eyes. He wasn't as excited as I expected he would be to see me. If he did, I couldn't tell. I had spent a lot of my salary on hospital and medication, and I forgot to take care of myself in the process. Just 7 days after he started seeing, he started keeping late nights and eventually stopped coming home at night. Information reached me that he was seen frolicking around town with another woman. It was a difficult pill for me to swallow. How could it be that I spent 2 years seeking for solution to his blindness, and this was how he chose to pay me? Well, I waited for him to come home, because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Only an ungrateful person would do that. In the end, he came back home, and I gave him a piece of my mind. His reply cut deep into my heart. My heart was broken. My spirit was shattered. I wish he never saw. He said, "Sure, love is blind. You married me because you love me, but I married you because I was blind. I wouldn't have married you if I knew you were this ugly. I see lots of beautiful women, and I can't stay with you in a committed monogamous marriage anymore. I'm sorry. I need my freedom. I want a divorce. What should I do? Should I pour acid in his eyes and make him permanently blind? I need your advice, please, before I do something I will regret for the rest of my life."
Number 2. Weight loss.
My husband was upset that I wanted to lose weight. I weighed 149 kilograms. I was 38 and he was 42. I was rich and had a great business. He told me I was curvy and beautiful, but I was way too big. My husband wasn't as financially okay as I was, and my family even insinuated he married me for my money. He in fact loved big women. When I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and infertility, I know it was time to lose weight. I thought they were going to have a baby right after our wedding, but it didn't happen. I always wanted children, but I couldn't because I was obese. My husband already had 3 kids before we met, and I wanted more if I could. I sought help and tried all I could to lose the extra weight I carried. But he said he loved me the way I was and tried to sabotage my weight loss journey. I had diabetes and he wanted me to be bigger. That didn't make sense at all. I worried he might leave me when I was going to have surgery to remove part of my stomach so I wouldn't continue to eat too much. He said he was scared of the risks of bariatric surgery, understandably so, but I thought he was more scared he wouldn't be attracted to the new me that I would become. I became depressed, but my desire to be a healthier version of me got me excited, and soon my depression was gone. My health was more important than the silly things he said to me. I found him absolutely ridiculous. I felt determined to make a positive change in her life after my diabetes diagnosis, but my husband felt the changes were good for our relationship. I felt he was clearly insecure and felt like if I were to lose weight I would get more attention from men than before. I really loved my husband, but I deserved to be healthy and happy. I want a baby and I couldn't get pregnant the way I was. I needed help with my diabetes, but he said he wouldn't mind if I were bigger than I already was. As I continued on my weight loss journey and I was beginning to slim down, he said I became less and less attractive to him. He said he loved me big and heavy. But my weight was going to eventually kill me if I did nothing about it. Watching your wife dying in front of you and you say you love her big and heavy is both selfish, controlling and manipulative. As I began to lose more and more weight, our communication and intimacy began to suffer. Finally one day he said he'd had enough. He asked for divorce and left me. I was distraught when he left, but I feel light and healthy. I miss him a lot. But if I had died, he would move on with his life anyway.
Number 3. Hoarding.
My name is Kate, and I am embarrassed to say I am a hoarder. My house is a hot mess. I don't seem to find anything anywhere in the house because the whole area, the rooms, the kitchen, living room, garage, toilet and bathroom, and all cluttered with items. I don't remember when I bought them almost all of the things I have in this house. I shop for everything and anything. It's a vicious cycle. I was married for 31 years. My husband tried many times to help maintain sanity in this home, but when he couldn't deal with it anymore, he just packed his things and left me. At the time he left, the kitchen was already in such a mess that it was difficult to know where the cooker and sink were. We had a pile of different stuff in the middle of the kitchen. My room was filled to the roof with all sorts of clothing and handbags I had purchased and thought I would resell later to make a fortune out of them, but unfortunately our finances took a bad hit. My hoarding was mostly limited to one room when it started. I collected mostly clothes, belts, shoes, handbags and church hats. As years passed, I started to collect more stuff, car parts, souvenirs, my children's school's books that I refused to throw away, and it got worse. My mother passed away, and I packed all of her things into our house. It's somehow difficult for me to decipher between useful items and total garbage now. I don't think I need to see a therapist. I believe my problem stemmed from a place of profound depression, panic attack and anxiety after I lost my mother in a plane crash. I think I'm dealing with it fairly well. I'm a stay-home mum, so I didn't go out much, and I have a couple of friends who I wouldn't invite home. Unfortunately now, I had a lot of stuff was scattered around and I couldn't even reach my bed. I only sat on my sofa in the living room. Even that was filled with junks. My husband said if I didn't change, he would never come back. After a while, the flooring began to sink and the roof began to leak. I called in someone to fix, but they couldn't because no one knew where the leak came from and the house was too clustered, they couldn't find their way around. They tried for days and eventually gave up. I tried many times to clean up the house, but I couldn't stop bringing in more items. I lost the love of my life to hoarding. I refused to seek counseling because many people tell me there must be something that I needed to deal with. The authority came to inspect my house, and I've been told it's unsafe for me to continue to stay in it. The house will be demolished soon. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere to go, and my husband has vowed never to allow me anywhere near his new home. I might be on the street soon. What should I do?
Number 4. Tardiness.
Everyone blames me for my husband's decision to divorce me. We were together for 12 years, and during that time, he said I didn't make the slightest amount of effort to be on time for anything. Before we got married, he would wait an average of 15 minutes to an hour for me to show up on our dates. Now he's divorcing me because of my lack of punctuality. He said he waited this long to see if I would change because he loved me and hoped I would change, but after marriage, I somehow got worse, and after childbirth, I got even worse. He blamed me for never taking responsibility for my tardiness. He said I always found something or someone else to blame. He accused me of even using our son as my excuse. Yeah. I was late for everything. I tried to be on time, but I don't know how I'm always behind time. In fact, we had appointment at the hospital for my son, but we got there late because of me, and we missed all of the appointments. Few days ago my husband called me and said he was done. He packed his stuff and left. He said he would send the divorce papers. He probably would seek for the custody of our son, but I won't let it happen. I know he's not cheating. He's just mad that after he had compromised a lot in the marriage, I should at least respect him by being on time for appointment, especially when it comes to our son.
Number 5. Illness.
I am not attracted to my wife anymore. She has breast cancer, and I want a divorce. We found out about it few months ago, and she has been going through treatment and chemotherapy. She's had her breast removed, and I can't even stand her sight right now. It's difficult watching the one you love in pain, and I can't do anything to alleviate the pain. We have numerous hospital bills, car loans, house rent, food, and our baby's needs. I can't do this anymore. It's too much burden on me. I have reached my limit. She is a wonderful wife and a mother, but I am not just attracted to her anymore. We haven't been intimate since we found out about the disease. I just can't do this. I can't continue to see her the same way. Why should I continue to deceive myself when in actual fact I am not happy with her anymore? She's changed a lot. She disgusts me. I want out, but I don't know how to tell her I am no longer interested in the marriage. I don't even want to be part of my daughter's life, but I will support her in any way I can as her father. I understand she might inherit the disease from her mother and become unhealthy like her in the future. I'm afraid my daughter might grow to resent me for leaving her mother at the time she needed my support most, but I am not a horrible person. I am leaving because I am not happy with her. Till dead do us part is the vow, but it doesn't mean I will stay in a depressing marriage. Am I missing something here?
Yes, you are. I guess you are too frivolous about marriage. You either don't understand that it requires commitment, loyalty, or you have no true value for it. Reason why your vows meant little to you. Even though it took you a lifetime to compose, I bet you can't remember what it is you said in your vow. Men like you have no business marrying. Marriage is a multi-layer contract. There are many things you would not be able to comprehend. It's more like the more you see, the less you know. Without God as the third person in your marriage, it is a difficult adventure. Number 6. Infertility.
I want a divorce. My wife suffers from Mayer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser syndrome, MRKH. This condition causes female reproductive organs to either be underdeveloped or absent, although external structures are normal. She's never had her periods due to the absence of a uterus. I'm angry because she never told me she had a medical condition that could prevent her from becoming a mother. I have the right to know and make my own decision. I don't know if there are other things I should know that she didn't tell me. It felt like I've lived on a falsity island the whole time.
This man divorced his wife because she was born without female reproductive organs and as such cannot have a baby of her own. However, announcing it on the national television for the whole world to hear is both cruel and inhumane. She would also have saved herself if she told him her medical condition early when he became serious and she accepted to marry him. Perhaps she thought her flow would come someday. Many people don't know this condition existed. No one can truly imagine this woman's pain. But I also know that what God cannot do does not exist. He works in mysterious and miraculous ways. All hope is not lost. Jesus still performs miracles. He's never tired of it. Number 7. Song's lyrics. A man has divorced his wife at their wedding reception venue for her choice of song. The bride had asked for a song titled Dominant to be played at the reception. It was a Syrian song. It meant dominant in English. She danced to the song happily, but her in-laws were not happy. His family was having none of it. They felt it was a direct warning of what he would likely suffer or endure in the marriage. This is the English translation of the song. Dominant. I will rule you like a ruler. I will make you look away if you see another girl on the street. Yes, I'm dominant. You're my piece of sugar. As long as you're with me, you will be under my command. I'm arrogant, I'm arrogant. There are things I warned you about. How will your eyes catch it? You can't stand my revolution. Jealousy runs in my blood. I'm still talking to you. When will you understand me? Since I met you. I've been telling you. If you look at other girls, I'll get angry at you. Dominant, I will rule you like a ruler. I will make you look away if you see another girl on the street. Yes, I'm dominant. You are all that matters to me. Nothing scares me. But you, my love, changed me. And you will be mine. I will stay in your heart. And if you do wrong, I will punish you. No one can look at you. No one can look at you. There was a big misunderstanding and fight between the two families, and it ended in divorce that same day. A few other marriages have also ended in divorce because of this song. Number 8. Stranger. A man divorced his wife, then sued for deceiving him into marrying her. He thought she was a total stranger on their honeymoon when they were going to consummate their marriage. This time he insisted light must be on. What he saw surprised him because as she began to remove the silicone undergarment pad she wore to enhance her girl's size, he was totally bewildered. He hadn't seen her without what he came to understand were silicone wears, which made her backside bigger, rounded and fuller. They shaped her tummy and push up her girls. She had removed her false eyelashes, contact lens, and makeup. She was a complete stranger to him. He stared at her like he'd seen a ghost. image he saw without makeup looked completely different from the fake one. The wife later confessed to having plastic surgery. He asked to see her old pictures, and after seeing what she looked like prior to surgery and without all her accessories, he was done. He said their marriage was a sham and he filed a lawsuit, claiming she tricked him and he married her under false pretenses. At least she should have let him see her natural face before they married. Less is more, they say. Let's do things in moderation. Number 9. Unemployment.
For 3 months I was unemployed, so naturally my wife should stepped in to take care of the bills. I'm a very driven and determined person, but when I lost my job, it hit me really hard. I looked for a job for 3 months, but I was told I overqualified for the ones I interviewed for. They were afraid I wouldn't last on the job if I got a better offer somewhere else. However, my wife was upset I wasn't bringing in money like before. I spoiled her with money and gifts when the going was good. I took care of our home and she lacked nothing, but as soon as I fell on hard times she nagged me and made me feel unworthy. I literally hit the bottom and I couldn't pay the bills anymore. I expected her to hold me up and tell me everything would be alright when though I struggled. Instead, she pounded me to the ground with her words. Initially I was hurt. I was in a lot of pain and confusion. Who is this woman? Is this who she truly is? Over time she began to show more anger and resentment. Eventually it got to the point where she had nothing more for me. She lost all respect for me. I began to lose my self-esteem and she gave me no appreciation for the fact that I had fallen on hard times. She said I stank and couldn't withstand the stench coming from my body. My hygiene suddenly became a problem and she accused me of not showering. I would go all day and walked miles upon miles looking for job. And when she came back, what did she say? That I stank to high heavens. She picked on me because I couldn't get her what she wanted. She degraded me in front of people and wouldn't let me eat what I wanted, all because she worked 2 jobs and brought in the money. When I had money it was okay for us to spend it together. When the table turned, her money was her money. I couldn't even go to the gym and return to a peaceful atmosphere. It's all you stink. Oh my goodness, you stink. Have you ever heard about an iron sharpening another iron? No, she hadn't. She asked me to move out of the house. When I didn't, my wife filed for divorce, kicked me out and got a restraining order. But not just a few months after I got a job. A good job. I make good money now. Now she wants me to remember that we had a special relationship before and we could go back to being an item. I told her no, it won't happen again. Once I was blind, but now I see. 3 months was all it took for my wife to show me who she really was. I'm thankful that phase of my life occurred. I'm taking my time now. I gave my life to Jesus and praying that God leads me to a God-fearing, Jesus-loving woman who He has ordained for me as the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. Praise God, I'm free. Number 10. OCD. Obsessive-compulsive disorder.
Bridget was only 17 when she got pregnant with her son. She danced at clubs and worked for a stockbroking firm. She fell in love with a wealthy man who treated her with tenderness, love and care. He bought flowers and wrote love notes to her. She was swept off her feet. But there was a problem. He had obsessive-compulsive disorder. He's a neat freak. He loved his house squeak and sparkling all the time. When she moved in with her son, she soon realized everything had to be the same way he kept them in his house. No one was allowed to sit on the couch in the living room. He had a pool table upstairs but never played it so it would stay the same. His home was like those in the magazine, elegant, beautifully and tastefully furnished. One night they had spaghetti and sauce. She spilled a droplet of the sauce on his tile and in the microwave. All hell was let loose. He got really angry, yelling, swearing, and said she should have cleaned it immediately. They fought about it for a week. 2 months later she moved out of his house with her son. They got back together again and he proposed to her. She went back with her son to live with him, but again his OCD got the best of him. She advised him to get treatment for his severe disease, that it was ruining his life, but he didn't. He said he knew his strict rules and rituals about cleaning and arranging things was annoying, however he didn't want to be pressured into seeing a therapist, as he has coped really well over the years. Absolutely. The problem was with the people around him and in his life who were miserable. They fought again on afternoon. He yanked the ring off her finger in a maddening rage, fracturing it in the process, and she had to get a splint. That was when she knew they were not meant to be. Thankfully, they were not married.
Do you know that the fear of God, patience, kindness, commitment, good character, love, joy, effective communication, attraction, friendship, loyalty, laughter and smile, negotiation, respect for family, respect for one another, love for God, prayers and the Word of God are very essential at the foundation of every marriage? Without them, it might be difficult for it to withstand storms of life. While some reasons we talked about here are crazy, we don't know what the people felt, their circumstances and situations. But one thing is clear, that marriage isn't to be trivialized. It is deeper than you can ever imagine. As we evolve daily in our marriage relationship, new things begin to emerge, whether because of old age, sickness, children's challenges, families and in-laws, etc. Whatever it is, we must not forget our wedding vows. The ones we made before God and man. Let us learn to love our spouses with the love of Christ and build it on the foundation of Christ. 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4-7. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. 5. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. 6. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. 7. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Philippians 4 verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Whenever you think about your marriage, think about this verse. It will help you to treat your spouse and marriage better. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell, like and leave your comments. Thank you for watching my video, beautiful people. Until next time, bye and God bless you.